Hey friends, welcome to my channel. So today, in continuing my series with this Heart Day package from crepe paper, in the last video I showed you how to make these medallions and how to recreate them. So today I'm going to show you how to make these other embellishments here, and we can basically just make about the same thing and be able to gift these to our pen pals and to our crafty friend. Let me go over a few of the items that you're going to need. You're going to need a little tag die. You don't need one, but you could cut it out yourself, just eyeballing it and using a ruler. I used a little tag die and I got mine from AliExpress, so I use I think the smallest one. Yeah, I use the smallest tag die. In this I'll give you the measurements, so if you're gonna do it by hand. So this one is 1 3/4 inch, and then the width is 1 inch. So it's super cute. This one has a stitching on it, and then it punches out the hole. So super easy, super quick. And then for the XOXO, I use the Dear Lizzie stamp set that I picked up from Tuesday Morning. The font was perfect. I really loved it. And you know, I just used the XO, the X and the O. So to do that, I use Versamark water stamp ink, so the watermark, and that would help me with embossing. But before I did that, I used some anti-static powder, and it comes in this little pillow that you use. An acrylic block, of course. This one is actually from the Dollar Tree. Some Recollections tinsel embossing powder in gold. And that's what I use for these tags. I did prop them up on some foam tape. For the little circle, you're not gonna believe me, but I did something funny for that. I didn't use like a little brad or anything, or like the little finishings on here. I used just paper. And then the tools that I needed for this one is basically just scissors to cut them out, and I also use a stapler, and then I use this Maggie Holmes stamp set, and it says Lucky in Love. So it has a bunch of different little sentiments. I think I picked this up at Tuesday Morning, and it's perfect for that. And I use some StazOn ink in jet black for the sentiment. Like I said, a stapler. And then for both these projects, just using your leftover pieces, so your scraps. All of these are my scraps. I'm pretty much all done with my Valentine scraps. So it's been perfect to make these projects. I'm going to be making a few with you right now, so I'm going to be able to knock these all out. Some white paper for your ink, and that's pretty much it. Super simple to put together. So let's go ahead and get started by doing the little tags first. Okay, so let's get started. First of all, I forgot to mention that of course you're going to need an embossing heat tool, so because you're going to be doing some embossing. I've already gone ahead and cut out my tags. So I cut out 4 so we can work on those. And then once we do this, we'll go and punch out all the little circles that I'm going to need to finish these off. So let's start by stamping. I've already placed my stamps on here, the X and the O. And when embossing, you don't have to squeeze down too much. I kind of just like kiss the stamp on there so you could get some of the ink. And then center, and it does stick on there, so just kind of remove it with your finger. And because it's clear, it's sometimes hard, but just if you look really closely, you'll be able to eyeball where the other stamped images are, which I think I messed up here already. Yeah, so those are going to be a little close together, but that's okay. Just make sure you take a look that you're not stamping over your original XO. Okay, we got 2 more to go. I am not a pro at embossing yet, so if I'm doing something wrong, I'm sorry. Don't take my stuff as someone who knows what they're doing. I'm just trying out new tools. And that one I stamped up a little high, but that's okay. You know, that's what makes this handmade. Everything is unique. Pour that on there, be generous. Okay. Go. And see, all the excess would have come off had I used the pillow, the little anti-static pillow. And now it doesn't. You can see all this little residue. I'm gonna have to go in with a brush to clean that up. And you can see that I overlapped that one accidentally. That's okay. It's a handmade project. You live and learn and grow. So here's this one. Again, it's overlapped a little bit. It's harder to do these on camera. See, this one worked out. And so did this one. Okay, so I'm gonna go off camera and clean these up with a brush. Okay, so now I've cleaned these up and I can go ahead and use my heat gun. So again, like I said, these ones got overlapped, so I might not use them in the end. Or what I was thinking is that I was just gonna go ahead and wipe it off and see if I could restamp them. So let's see if we can do that and if it'll work. Again, there's a little bit of a shadow there now because we did stamp it, so you can see it there. But we're gonna try it because it was bugging me that they're overlapped. Just wipe these off. Little brush here, try to get these to come off. So yeah, I don't think that's gonna work, and especially since I think that brush was a little dirty, it dirtied up the little paper. So no worries, no fret about that. You know, it was just scrap paper, so if that happens to you, just start again. And I'm not gonna cut this out because I want you to see that not every time does it work out. So out of 4, we have 2 that actually worked. And that just happens, you know? Sometimes we just gotta keep rolling. All right, so let's go ahead and heat set these. Try not to burn my finger. Okay, and then we have one more. Okay, so you can see now that the heat gun has done its job. It has the X and the O on there. So super cute. You can see my example here. And now all we're gonna do is we're gonna cut out these little circles and we're gonna put the foam tape, and that's it. Super simple, super quick to make. So for this next part, I'm gonna cut out this little circle here. That's gonna go on the tags. So again, I'm gonna need a little punch to make the circle, like that. And I'm gonna be using this tag die because the circle is perfect. So check to see what what tools you have and how you can recreate things yourself. I like to call it MacGyvering. So I'll place that on there and then cut it with my Spellbinders machine. Okay, so it cut, and you have this little excess here, you don't need that. And this is the little circle that you need. So you see, it's perfect, and that's what's gonna go on top of the tag, and I'm gonna cut one more out. You do have this little excess, you could just use a tool to take that off, and it's just trash. Okay, so now we're just gonna glue the little rings on there, and we're gonna use the foam tape to make this an embellishment. I'm using my Fiskars scissors by Teresa Collins. So these are perfect for sticky materials, nothing gets stuck on there. guess. That's a little long. And there we go. And now we're just gonna add those little rings on there. Gonna use a small applicator so it places just the right amount of glue on here. You don't need very much because it is a very skinny ring. There we go. I like using a tool with a little bit of glue on the end to pick them up. It makes it so much easier. And then it also helps me to place them. And we just need one more. And that's it. Super easy to make your very own little embellishments that are inspired by Crepe Paper's Heart Day. So here's the original, and then here's my version. So it looks for them that they use some stickers, some alpha stickers that are glittered. I don't have anything like this, but I thought that these would work, embossing them would work. They're not as glittery, but I think it comes pretty close. I had also tried stickers myself. So I tried white, but with my pattern it got lost. So you could use alpha stickers, and these ones are actually from Main Squeeze. So these look really cute too, but I also felt that it got lost with the pattern, and I felt that the gold definitely stood out more. So next we're gonna go ahead and make the other embellishment, which are these. Okay, so for this embellishment, again, it's super easy and just using scrap paper to make those embellishments. So what I'm gonna start by doing is stamping out some little sentiments, which you can print out as well if you don't have a stamp. So really simple, just gonna stamp these on here. Once you have your sentiment either printed out or stamped out, I'm gonna cut these down to the size that I need them, my little scraps, and then we'll cut out those sentiments. So I'm gonna use my cutting board to do that. And then I'll give you the measurements for this one. So we're going to be cutting them out approximately 1 3/4 inch in length, and then the width is 1/2 inch. Once you cut your lengths at 1/2 inch, you want to make sure you cut these at 1 3/4 inch. So place this and cut it at 1 3/4 inch. You can also eyeball it. You don't have to use your machine or your cutting board to do that. Once all your strips are cut down to size, we're gonna make the little flags on them, the little tips. And basically what I do is I just cut in the middle right here, so I can see where I'm gonna cut these little triangles, this little triangle bit. Super simple, and do that with all of them. Okay, so now all my little flags are cut out, and I also cut out my little sentiments, and now we just have to assemble them, and that is super simple. So you can decide whether to put the gold on top or the blue on top. I prefer the gold, and just not directly on top. You kind of want to have them at an angle because that's more aesthetically pleasing. And then what I do is I staple these together, and I also place my staple at an angle. And then I'm going to use some glue to put my sentiment right on there. You can either put it straight with the top banner, or you can angle that one as well. And just place it on top. And if your little banner moves a little too much, you can also place some glue on the back of it. And that'll ensure that it stays in place. Like so. Really easy to put these together. I'm going to assemble the rest of them and then come back. Okay, so I finished assembling them, and I think they look super cute, and you can again crank a whole bunch of these out. Just use up your entire scraps. So here is the one from the Crepe Paper Heart Day embellishment kit, and you can see, I was going to show you this one, and you can see here, so again, theirs is a little different. Theirs is fringe, and you can totally do that. I'm actually thinking of making some like that, but I decided to make mine out of flags. And these are perfect because you can gift these to friends. So let's say if we put a kit together just like they have it here. So we'll place a tag, one of the little banners that we made, and one of the rosettes that I made in my previous video. And you can see how cute that looks. So that one has a little bit of glue. There you go. So you can see how cute that looks. I love it. And then you can add some little goodies. So they have some little like epoxy hearts right here. You can put some little flat back hearts or some goodies on here and make a little package for a friend. So I'll have that in my next video on how I'm gonna package this together so you can see. So if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, leave me a comment down below which of these is your favorite embellishment and if you're gonna try it out. So if you recreate this, make sure you tag me on Instagram at CapPaperLove. I'd love to see you try out my projects, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye. Before I go, I wanted to show you that I did recreate the same embellishment that they did. So versus, like, I went with a flag, but I also recreated this one that they did. So it's just 3 strips of paper. So it's 2 different colored ones that are fringed, and then the sentiment in white on top, and a staple. So really easy to make. I'll give you the measurements in case you want to make one yourself, and I'll make one here with you. So I ended up cutting these at 1/2 inch and then 1.5 inch in length. And I already stamped my sentiment and cut it out, and I can give you the measurement for that if you like, if you're printing these out or handwriting them. My hand lettering is not the best, so I commend you if you can. These are approximately, I would say 1.5 inch works. So 1.5 inch, and then about 1/4 inch in width. Okay, so I have my strips, and then all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna fringe these and just eyeball it. Be careful not to cut it all the way. Oops. If you have fringe scissors, those would work as well. I don't, so I'm just going to be using my scissors. Really simple to make. Okay. Just cut some of this little white here. I need to get a new blade for my cutting board. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to place a little bit of glue on the back of this because the staple is not going to be enough to hold it together. And then I give it a little bit of space because if you see their embellishment, it's not like, you know, that's what makes it really cute. Place it on there. And then I'm going to grab my sentiment, place some glue on that, and put it on top. And then the last thing would be to add the staple. So there we go. And super simple. Really easy to make. Really easy to make that. And you can print these out, put the same as they have it, and super easy. So again, hope you enjoyed that. Leave a comment down below and have a great day. Bye.